We had a wonderful makeup man, and we decided early on that we were going to go through the whole picture with a broken nose, because broken noses don't heal that fast, and in a lot of movies, next scene, everything is okay. But this guy breaks my nose, and so we go through the movie with the nose.
All good actors and actresses, the common denominator of all, from Keane to Peggy Woffington to Kate to Alec, to me, to Tony Hopkins, to whosoever, unobserved, uninhibited, private study.
When a man lives, he lives and does not see himself. Well, put a mirror before him and make him see himself in the act of living. Either he is astonished at his own appearance,
We are a democratic organization, movement, and we are tolerant of opposing views. People are entitled to express their views. I do not know which newspaper this is, but if one talks about...
How much money did you make today, little man? Only 15 cents. I sold an old green bottle I found buried out back of the barn. How much money did you make today, little man? Carried some groceries, 4 big bags of them, for an old woman to her car. She gave me a whole quarter. How much money did you make today, little man? I raked leaves all day long.
When I originally got the script, we had several conferences, they wanted her hair slicked back and, and I said, no, I think let's make her like Ann Sheridan in Ford Jones in a Jeep, okay? Like she grew up.
People came out of the theater, they were alive, they were interested, they were laughing, and there was a lot of energy coming out of the theater, and I said, this is something that I'd like to be a part of if I want to go back to theater. And I have to admit that it wasn't a huge...
When you think, why me? Why me? I've never intentionally hurt anybody. Why me? But there's a reason. There is a reason. There's a reason for everything. And maybe I can help others.
People have always made a lot of assumptions. You see this young All-American quarterback-looking dude on the show, and you just immediately make assumptions. And I think people started really identifying me with those assumptions, which is the media, and I understand that. But at the same time,
I was just really into the idea of playing Dean and playing the villain for a change, because, in Pleasantville I was real, clean cut and, and good and almost not real. His life it wasn't real. He's almost like a cartoon character.
Shows on Broadway. Actually, Damn Yankees was my first musical, and I say modestly, but it won't sound modest, that I was a discovery of George Abbott's. And before that, I'd done my first Broadway show, which was called In the Summer House.
Little matchstick man, do not try my patience. You are not even a part of this contest. The only reason I do not destroy you is that I am savoring the nurturing of hope in your heart, just as I will enjoy bearing.
He has experienced his humanity at an extreme level, which is what humans kind of used to do quite routinely, and now we don't do at all. Everything about civilized society is to protect us from that. And there is a sense that we're being deliberately bred by society.
I'm very anxious that we should not put extra tax on them, because I don't find people overflush with income if they're paying a mortgage and looking after their children. People have a right to choose how they spend their own money.
Yeah, I did it in Seabiscuit. I did Seabiscuit, and Jeff Bridges, who's a great friend of mine, we've done about 6 movies together. And the camera was, we were at the racetrack, and of course he's there, it's all about Seabiscuit, and he's there, and he's the owner of Seabiscuit. And
memories confuse my mind. I remember Nana making my first bow and teaching me how to hunt deer. We made deer masks and crawled through the herds. But this is something I must forget.
So I read the script and I got really, really excited about it because it is interesting and it's different, and you know, he's vulnerable, but he also is a good detective. But I didn't tell John about it because it was a little too weird, too much of a coincidence, and then I finally got the role.
No, I had no control. That was the only trouble with the studios. You had no control. They put you in what they wanted to. They lent you out, got the money, you didn't. But it was still, to me, the golden era. Because, well, first of all, you know, we didn't roll around in bed, hard expression like they're doing today.
I loved the process. I loved examining the literature and becoming somebody else. I found out that it was one of the few things, acting was one of the few things that everything you'd ever been interested in.
I think there may have been people that called up and say, look, I loved your film, Billy Jack, but I want to know where you stand on the foreclosures. I want to know what you're going to do to get the economy going. I want to know how you're going to pay for this health care. I want to know never, and in fact,
it just shows you the power of instinct over what's left of your brains at such moments when you're being drawn to someone and you sense that it may not work and you can't stop it anyway.
Since I am writing, I'd like to be involved in the production of anything I've written, for one thing. And I don't know, it's pulling the strings, it's making it all happen, it's putting it together. I'm a very organized person, and so I like production.
It has scenes in it, you know. It's a whole day in the life of this remarkable genius poet who lived a very simple life on the outside, but who lived a very complicated interior life.
My mother was a very definite and positive person, and my sister and I are very definite, positive people. So you put that together, then you are bound to have differences of opinion. You just have to. We are not passive people in any way.
Well, there's a number of things that are mind-boggling to me. I mean, I've never, I don't feel sick. I haven't been sick in 3 years. It's very puzzling. It's very hard also to accept the fact that something like this actually has happened.
Not really, it's just working with actors, really. And I mean, Griff and I have done enough in front of cameras to know basically what you should do if you're directing film. It's as simple as that. And just let the actors act, you know. And so in actual fact, it was, I mean, for me, it's the thing I've been working towards, and I'm very glad it's happened.
I was on my way to rehearsal one day. Now, it is a lively street, we know. And there was, you know, you go along, I'm producing this play, and Brett Summers is directing it, and I'm in it, and I'm having a great time. Almost Perfect Person. And we opened last week, and we're running through December 26th. I'm getting to be...
Thank you for coming out, and we know you have a busy schedule, but we have this part, and you've been looking at it out, and I said yes. And they had another man called, was it Considine? Considine was reading. And they said, all right, anytime.
Alors moi, cette idée, c'est une bonne idée pour un film d'aventure, là. Des gens qui retrouvent ça. Et en plus, si on ajoute que ce sont des morts vivants qui gardent les lieux, alors ça commence à m'intéresser.
Well, I was an Air Force brat, so we traveled around a whole lot. I was born in Van Nuys, California, but we split when I was 6 months old. And then I traveled all over the world. I lived in Japan for 3 years. But mainly I lived in Texas, between Dallas and Fort Worth, a place called Grand Prairie, which is the Grand Prairie Gophers.